Hey, it's James, Fathers Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. One of many contempt arguments that I would use, I have a YouTube video where I talk about why aren't you doing contempt? That's the name of it. One of the many arguments I would use on contempt is, Your Honor, if you're not finding the mother in contempt for visitation, why aren't you making love and relationships just as important as money? If you're not finding her in contempt, you're saying money is more important to the child and materialistic things are more important to the child than love. The court has a low tolerance for dads getting behind on child support. They'll find a dad in contempt, they'll threaten jail time, and they'll garnish his money to force that money away from him and transfer it to make sure that money gets to the mother. So I'd be writing an argument, $, greater than love to this court. And that on my first page, I would make, like the font's this big. Let's say this is Times Roman 12 and you're writing your court papers. Here's the title: James versus Sedaris Wright, King County Superior Court. This pleading demonstrates how this court believes, and then I put like this big, and then in big font to fill up the rest of the first page, because you have the caption. Sometimes you have to go down a couple inches because some courthouses want you to have the stamp up there, or they have the attorney's address up there, and the caption of your case. The caption is the name, Sedaris versus James, King County Superior Court, 01-5-007956. Bam. That's the caption. And then I give a little introduction, and then in big, bold font, I put $, greater than love. And then the next page, I'm back in the regular font. This court immediately enforces contempt on child support all the time. This court won't enforce the relationship, the love, the security and stability that comes from this father and is delivered to the child. The mother is depriving the child of that basic life need, but this court only cares about money and material things. And I understand this court is padding their retirement with Title 4D slush fund money that you guys will go and get at the end of the year in your little secret meetings. Like in Washington, I know for a fact, the legislature has secret meetings that are off the record where the judges, CPS, DSHS, all these administrative outfits will go and sit and say, okay, we got $2.4 billion of Title 4D money this quarter or the end of this year. Who gets what? And the judges will say, we got that for you. We did all the child support orders, so give us half, and then all you guys can split your pieces of the pie. So I would explain that I know that's what's going on. But you have allegiance under the law, under the statute, to maintain you have a public policy of maintaining ongoing frequent contact between the parents and the child because the best interest of the child is paramount. How come you only care about the money part? How come you don't care about the love, security, and stability that comes with a parent? How come you want to release this child into society and not find the mother in contempt, not force visitation, not force the child to have a relationship, not follow the court order? Your court order is presumed to be in the best interest of the child. I'll give you a couple little nuggets that I would use also, which I've said in other videos. So I'll do a little compilation of arguments that I would. Your court order is assumed to be in the best interest of the child. Yet the mother's violating that and you don't care. Why? You have allegiance to the child above the parents' wishes and all that stuff. The very best interest of the child is your number one priority. You are sitting here saying, if the mother violates that court order, it's an order of the court, which is done in the best interest of the child. So this is what's best for the child. And when the mother violates that, you don't care. Why? Why don't you care? And it's so easy for you to enforce the court order. Why don't you take an easy step? Why do you want to prolong and drag out and not fix the problem? It's a problem, and it's an immediate problem, and it's dealing with the most important thing in the child's life outside of food, water, and air. The love, security, and stability, and relationship with both parents. In Washington State, this is why you guys need to know the law. If you don't read the law in your state on the factors for determining custody, you're a stupid jackass because you're in court to determine custody and you want to know what the law says the court has to consider in determining custody. If you get a job and the laws of your state say this is minimum wage and your boss is giving you a lower wage, you'd be an idiot to let them pay you lower than minimum wage. You would know the law on that, or should know the law on that. And if you do, then you raise a stink and you don't take a job. Or if you have a contract saying, I'm going to get paid this much and I'm going to get this much bonus, and you do your job and you should get your bonus, you would be pissed when you don't get it. And you would stand up and say, look at this contract that we have. Look at this. Look at that. You have to pay me. So why don't you stand up like that, like you would for a job or for a contract? Why don't you do that in court? Because we're talking about something more important than money for your job. That's extremely important to live and survive and stuff. We're talking about your life with your kid. And you don't want to stand up. Oh, I'm worried that I'll hurt the judge's feelings or get them mad. How could you? That's the most bullcrap, punk-ass, bitch, cop-out line ever. How can you make a judge in a court of law mad when you cite the law to the judge in the court of law? You got to be an utter, idiotic, low IQ, retarded moron for you to believe that that's a reason not to stand up for yourself in a court of law. Stop believing this stupid fantasy Twilight Zone bullcrap. You got to be a moron to think that that's normal. Judges are supposed to be thick-skinned. You're going to court to have adversarial, argumentative, oral arguments. You're going to argue. Oral argument. You're going to argue against the other side. What are you supposed to do? Agree with everything that they say? If you're that stupid to believe you don't want to piss anybody off or ruffle feathers, then don't disagree with them. Just agree with whatever they say. But you're going to court to work out something you can't work out, and the court's job is to resolve disputes, and you get oral argument, you get to confront witnesses, you get to impeach somebody's credibility, so you're going to accuse them of stuff, and then your dumbass attorney says, don't accuse them of anything, don't say anything bad, don't this, don't that. Lawyers are supposed to be thick-skinned. Judges used to be lawyers. How can they get mad at you making an argument? They used to make argument in court. It's all a bunch of nonsense, and your dumbass actually believes that crap. I had a judge chew us out when I got 5-day-a-week visitation. She says, I can't believe there's so much conflict with you guys. You guys need to grow up. Then she gave me 5 days a week visitation. Do you think I cared about that one sentence because the judge was frustrated with our conflict? It really was the mother. She controlled the conflict. Do you think I cared about that one 5-second line? And your dumbass is worried to stand up? I walked away with 5 days a week with my daughter. I went from 0 to 5 days a week. And if I was a punk-ass coward like you or your attorney, I wouldn't have argued the way I argued to get that because the judge was mad for about 20 seconds. So even if the judge does get mad and you get what you want, why do you give a damn? Because you're an overly sensitive, thin-skinned, feminine little bitch. Stop doing that. Stop being like that. You can change. You can grow some balls like Simba did in The Lion King. He's frolicking in the oasis with animals he shouldn't be hanging out with. He's running his way from his calling. He's the king of the jungle. And then he has a meeting. He has a come to Jesus meeting with his dad in the clouds. And his dad says, stop being a bitch. Remember who you are. And then he decides to go back and man up and stand up for what's right. You guys, your kingdom is your family. You have a traitor like in Lion King, Scar. You have a family member, your baby's mom or your spouse, that's taking the child away. The queen is stealing the child from the king. That's your kingdom. Go rescue your kid. The court is supposed to maintain integrity of the court. The mother is flipping the court off, thumbing the nose at the court, violating the court order. If you're going to violate the court, if she's going to violate the court order, and this court doesn't care about enforcing it, says just to make sure you don't do that, be better, be nice, or you guys go to mediation and work it out, or you need reunification therapy. I guess I'll stop paying child support since you don't enforce orders. Oh, whoa, wait, you can't do. See what I mean, Your Honor? You care about money, but you don't care about the children. What kind of sociopath are you that you're ignoring the child and destroying the parent-child relationship as long as she gets some money? You're doing what these gold diggers want you to do. Start caring about the child and enforcing your order. Those are a few